Hi there Star Wars collectors, and welcome to another Bossk Bounty video. And in this video we're going to be taking a look at the Star Wars Retro Collection 2-pack featuring Boba Fett and Bossk. Now I had the pleasure of revealing this a couple of months ago, which was awesome, and now I have it in hand. And I managed to pick this up from In Demand Toys in the UK. On occasions they are able to get import stock, which is exactly what they did with this. I also have an order for another set on Amazon. Now in the UK, we weren't able to get this. So for some reason, there was not a link for amazon.co.uk. But if you're in the US or the UK, there is a link in the description below where you can order this from Amazon US. Now, if you're in the UK, all you need to do is first of all, go onto the app for Amazon and change your settings so that you're in the US and you are able to order this. Of course, the shipping is a little bit more expensive and there is a small import fee, but as everything seems to be cheaper in the US, I think the price doesn't end up being that much more expensive than, say, the import stock on In Demand Toys. So that is a way of doing it. So the link is in the description below for both US and UK. And as I say, if you're in the UK, you just need to first of all change your settings so that you are in the US. Like change the app settings so that you are in the US, and they will deliver to a UK address. So with all that being said, let's take a quick look at the packaging here. So this is the 2-pack special action figure set with the Empire Strikes Back logo there, and we've got Boba Fett and Bossk. Now, I've said many times on the channel before, I'm not a huge fan of the retro collection, really, but if they're going to do Bossk, this is definitely one that I wanted to pick up. And I want one carded, and I'm going to open this one in the video as well so we can compare the figure to a vintage Bossk. I'm not going to bother opening up Boba Fett because I've already got that from the previous release, but it will be interesting to see how different that card back is from the original. So there it is there. It's got multi-language on the front there. We've got the Retro Collection logo. That is not a sticker on this box. Now, interestingly, the import stock from In Demand Toys did come in one of the shippers, which is like the Amazon shipper. I'm sure they're all just going to get posted out in one of these. So the import stock that they have is going to be for Amazon, so I would imagine hopefully pretty soon people will start having theirs shipped out as well. On the back of the packaging there, we've got the film out there of all the bounty hunters standing up there on the bridge of the Star Destroyer, and the only two that we're sort of missing, because we are getting these two, Dengar and IG-88, are these two, Zuckuss and Forlom. So I'm sure at some point a pack for that will come, and there you can see the import sticker there as well, imported from Hong Kong. So that is the outer packaging. We're going to open it up now. There's a bit of tape here, and then we're going to see what the two card backs look like inside. All right then, so I've sliced that open. Let's open this up and let's see what they're looking like inside. There they are. So we'll pull this one out first. We have Bossk and we have Boba. There we go. Alright then, so first things first, it does look like the Bossk card is a little bit warped. Now that is because this is the super thin card stock still on these ones, which is pretty awful. And also, they're punched as well. Now you would think that because they've come in that box, that they could have at least kept them unpunched, which is a big shame, really. But there's all these sort of fake damage around the card back, and you've got the big retro sticker, which is a sticker. If you wanted to peel that off, I'm sure it'll come off like it has done on the others. Bossk in the name peel there. There's the classic image, and there he is in the packaging. Looks awesome. And then on the back of the card, you've got Boba Fett and Bossk. So let's see if the Boba Fett card is similar. So this is exactly the same as the previous version that came out in that Empire Strikes Back wave, but the back is different. So this is a variant because you've got Boba Fett and Bossk for the 2-pack, whereas the previous one had all the other figures from the wave. Unfortunately, I do not have a Boba Fett from the previous wave in hand for you to show you. It's packed away somewhere, but the figure and the card back is exactly the same apart from the back there. So this is a variant if you are inclined to collect variants. Now, as I mentioned, I'm not going to be opening up this one. I don't see there's any point really. I already have a vintage Boba Fett figure, and I think I may even have a retro collection one that I opened as well. Certainly my son does. So I'm not going to bother with that one, but definitely I want to open up the Bossk because I want to compare him to the sort of vintage one that we have. So let's get him open and check him out. All right then, so here he is out of the packaging, and as you can see, he is the one on the right there. There may even be a little bit of paint missing on his hand there, or a different coloured paint. There's a bit of a paint error on his hand there for sure. And you can see that the head is a lot more sort of pale than the green version here, but it's not quite the orange head either. So it's somewhere in between. A little bit weird. You can also see that they've gone for the non-glossy limbs. You can see my original one here has got really glossy limbs. But there were Bosks originally that looked a little bit like this with the sort of matte finish. Although this foot here on the left one you can see is really matte compared to the other 3 limbs which seem to be a bit more glossy. So a little bit weird. The blasters, you're not going to get confused with the originals. The blaster with the Retro Collection version is a completely different plastic, and you can definitely tell that this is not an original from the 80s. But he does hold the blaster okay, and I really can't get over the head on this guy. It's a completely different colour to any other Bosks that I've got. Usually they're this olive green, and as I say, there is a version that's orange as well, but you know, most Bosks have the olive head there. So let's take a super close-up look at Bossk here. Here he is. Always a great figure, this one, from the vintage 80s. And the paint isn't too bad. They've got the little cross on his chest there perfectly. And as we just go down the figure, it seems to be pretty cool. And on the back there's no wear whatsoever on the straps on his bottom or on his back, which is a very, very common thing when you get a vintage Bossk, that you're always going to get that paint scratch more often than not, where it's been in toy boxes and what have you, and it's been scraping around. And as you can see, he's got the thin red lips painted on his face and what looks to be sort of orangey red eyes as well. And he obviously has that red stripe around his neck for his flight suit. And there isn't really much else to say about this Bossk figure apart from the fact that it's a modern version of Bossk. It's 5 POA. It's based on the original 80s mould. And in terms of the plastic, I can't really feel too much difference. They look pretty spot on. As I say, I don't think you're ever going to fool anybody. And also the country of origin on the back of his leg there says Vietnam. So it's made in Vietnam, which is much different to anything we got back in the 80s. Alright then guys, so that is the Retro Collection 2-pack. Not too much to say about the figures because obviously they are 5 POA figures. Not too much detail going on, but obviously they're classics, aren't they? So I had to have this one in my collection. I had to open him up. And he'll go with all of my other Bosks that I have. Alright then guys, thanks very much for watching. If you want to pick it up, the links are in the description below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we shall see you on the next one.